Hello, Mr. Feuerstein, please allow me to trash your crap about debunking evolution.
Hey guys, Joshua Feuerstein here. You know, the other day I had an atheist tell me that I was an idiot, moronic, and stupid for believing in God.
First of all, Mr. Feuerstein, I think you are a very silly man for not turning over your cell phone 90 degrees to get the most advantage of the widescreen option that YouTube has to offer.
Stupid for believing in God, that He created this world, because it took way too much faith to believe in a process like that, while he believed in what he called the science of evolution. Well, let's go ahead and let's do this. Dear Mr. Atheist.
I am not a Mr. Atheist, but a girl, and I'm 6 years old.
Dear Mr. Atheist, first of all, let me correct you. Because evolution is not a science, never has, and never will be. Why? Because it cannot fit within the parameters and parentheses of science for one simple reason. It was never observed.
You're completely wrong. Example, evolution. It can be observed in tuberculosis, because of the pressure put on it by antibiotics and the rate of reproduction. We don't expect to see such changes as quickly in mammals, because of the slower rate of reproduction.
That's why it's not science. That's why it's called the theory of evolution. One man's theory.
You have absolutely no notion about the meaning of the word. It is what describes Darwin's discovery in writing. That is what the word theory really means, a written description, an explanation in writing.
Now, let me show you how much faith it really takes to believe in evolution. You want me to believe that in some accidental cosmic bang, that out of that was created one cell, and from that one cell that all life springs, every plant, every animal, every single human being, and that somewhere along the way over years and years we mysteriously and magically all develop different wills, and we all develop different characteristics and traits, all because we willed it in our... I mean, you really think that everything came from one single cell? How much faith does that take? Now, I realize that you say that evolution is in science, and yet if we go back to science, the one thing that science demands, maybe you've heard of something called the law of thermodynamics, which means that chaos can never produce order.
Silly people like you thus misinterpret the second law to say that things invariably progress from order to disorder. But you neglect the fact that life is not a closed system. The sun provides more than enough energy to drive all things. And of course you will try to get around this, by claiming that the information carried by living things lets them create order. However, not only is life irrelevant to the second law, but order from disorder is also common in non-living systems. Snowflakes, rainbows, stalactites, graded riverbeds, and lightning are just a few examples of order coming from disorder in nature. None of these require an intelligent program, an intelligent designer, or an anthropomorphic daddy in the sky.
Look at the world that we live in. The sun goes up, the moon comes out, we travel around the sun, we have years, we have days, we have seasons, the tide comes in and out.
Tide goes in, tide goes out. Never miscommunication. You can't explain that.
Everything works like a clock. It has order.
No, it hasn't. Did you forget things like volcanoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, solar flares, and so on? If you believe that is order, hey, I have a large steel tower in Paris, France, on sale, especially for you.
And yet, you cannot argue that a world that has order came out of an accident, because it defies the very logic and laws of science.
Nope, it all obeys the laws of nature, discovered by science. Ever heard of Isaac Newton?
You see, you think it takes a lot of faith for me to believe in a God that created this world, a God that created order, and yet, what if I were to tell you that somewhere in Oklahoma a tornado rolls through a junkyard full of a bunch of old cars, and somewhere on the other side of that tornado, out of that junk pile, it magically produces a perfectly red, shiny, working Lamborghini? You would tell me I was nuts. You would tell me that I had lost it. You would probably try to admit me into the psychiatric ward. Why? Because that is absolutely stupid. I mean, how much faith would it really take to believe something as idiotic as that? And yet that's exactly what science believes.
Silly man, you have the belief that from a whole lot of nothing, in the middle of totally empty nothingness, a magical being appeared, and magically created a perfect shiny marble called Earth. And this is less idiot?
Science believes that in this accident came this perfectly working...
Mr. Feuerstein, for a while, please shut up. Do you know what this sound means? You can hear it every time when another one of your silly arguments pops like a balloon, because you are talking crap. Do you know why I call you Feuerstein instead of Feuerstein? It is because your name is German, for Flint, or Flintstone, but I would not compare you, because I don't want to insult Fred.
But most of all, while driving through Yellowstone and Montana and so many of these natural reserves this week and looking at animals and looking at life, I don't know, I just can't look at all of that creation and say that it was an accident.
You are an idiot. The Yellowstone caldera, in the USA, together with the Era caldera, in Japan, are the most dangerous underground volcanoes in the world, more dangerous than all other volcanoes combined. I mean, extinction class dangerous. They are a global disaster, a time bomb waiting to happen. And if you see that as one of God's miracles, you are clearly out of your mind.
And yet, I say it's time for us to begin to believe in intelligent design.
I am sorry, Fred, I just had to do it. What a silly, silly man.